Good morning, everyone. It's Sal, Stretford Post. How you all doing? And welcome to another episode of Breaking Dawn. I hope everyone's doing well. I hope everyone's doing fine. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. Please, guys, if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe if you're new. Even if you're watching in the background, lurking in the distance, in the dark, please subscribe, guys. Really important. And also, please don't forget to smash a like, guys. You know what to do, guys. Thank you so much for joining me, guys. You're absolute diamonds. You're absolute legends. Look, I've come off Twitter. It's a bit like I'm coming out of a boxing match with 12 rounds with Mike Tyson. For goodness sake, well, not even Mike Tyson. Probably a boxing match with, let's say, Prince Nassim Hamid in 2025. Probably that is what it is at the moment. I'm coming out of Twitter and, there is a cesspit of negativity, like in regards to the manager. And again, we're in the same position, ain't we? We're in the same position. Let's blame the manager again. Let's blame the manager. Oh, goodness me. Don't the Ineos love you? Glazers love you. You guys, they love you. They love you because at the end of the day, just like people I've seen on Twitter today saying we shouldn't have sacked Ten Hag, now people are doing the same thing with Ruben Amorim. I told you guys there is a cultural problem at this football club, and no matter what manager comes in, whether you're Enrique, whether you're Hansi Flicks, or you're Nagelsmann, nobody is going to change the toxicity at Manchester United. I'm telling you right now. Now, look, no one is exempt from criticism. That is life. Criticism is part of life. Do you know what I mean? It is. But, just like the sun rises in the UAE, where I am every single morning, unfortunately, people jumped on the same old bandwagon from the weekend. Again, basically about West Ham, when we're losing to West Ham, right? Now, you guys are very simplistic, and I'm going to tell you why. You come out with the most simplistic, we're 17th, we're 16th, we're 7th. It doesn't matter if we're 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th. It doesn't matter. Those players play when they want to play. That is the whole thing. They play when they want to play. When you give them a crutch, they will lean on that crutch, guys. That is how these players are. They down tool. And you're going to argue, but this is a different bunch of players, Sal. No, what I'm talking about, the culture again. I seem like a broken record. Repeat and play, repeat and play, repeat and play. For goodness sake, I'm like Capital FM. My goodness me, you guys just need to understand, something a bit more complicated than just, we're 17th. We've lost this many games. We're 17th. It's like, I have ball. I kick ball in goal. Opinion. Do you know what I mean? That is what it is at the moment. And I'm seeing this all bloody last one, 48 hours. And what my overriding concern is that shouldn't you be concentrating right now, this moment in time, in supporting your goddamn football club? Support your football club. We have a massive game next week. That is what it's all about. Next week is the massive game. That's what it's all about. And then in the summer, you can have your little opinions. You can have your little shenanigans again. You can have your little monthly granny meetings. You can do what you like, and then you can start discussing the birds and the bees with Ruben Amorim. You know what I mean? Or the birds and the bees with something else, which you probably don't know about, even at your very advanced ages. So what I would say is that what you need to do is stop looking at things from a simplistic food. This paper is pink. This paper is pink. This microphone is black. This light is blue. And, start looking at things. Start looking at things in more detail. Is it blue? Is it pink? Is it really? You know what I mean? What's going on? What's the context? Why is it like that? This and that. That's what you need to do, guys, in my opinion. Thank you, everyone. Guys, please don't forget to subscribe again. Let's read through some of your comments. Good morning, Mark. I'm going to get into that very soon, my friend. Big up yourself. Big up, Aaron. How you doing, my friend? Good morning, Blood. How you doing, Blood? How you doing? Young Blood. What's going on, my friend? How you doing? Lived in Los Angeles a couple of years, you know what I mean? Sal, as of this day, the source encyclopedia, you called all of this months ago, and I was too angry and frustrated to believe it. Rasta, one thing I would say, Rasta, is that I love your passion. You're a great Man United fan. And I respect you, brother, for saying that, because some people don't say that. Some people will go on Twitter and not even mention it. They're gone quiet. They're gone missing. They're gone ghost like Tupac. Do you know what I mean? That's what it is at the end of the day. And I thank you for saying such a nice quote. And you know what? I just want what's best for Man United. You, Rasta, wants what's best for Manchester United. But Man United have a serious problem, have a fundamental problem, and it's not going to get better. As I said, you can have your Hansi Flicks, you can have your Luis Enriquez, you can have your Nagelsmann. Nothing's going to change. It may tweak a little bit, but ultimately they will fail because this club is set up to fail. This is what it's all about, guys. And thank you, Rasta. Big up yourself. Big up, Kenny. How you doing, my friend? How we doing now? Glinios are laughing at us right now. Glinios love it. Kenny, this is exactly what Glinios want. This is what the Glazers and Ineos want. Exactly what they want right now is us murmuring, bittering a bit against each other when we got a massive game coming up next week against Tottenham Hotspur, which is going to be a flip of a coin anyway. And here we are arguing and talking about Ruben Amorim. Some of these people I don't actually think want Manchester United to win. I actually don't think they want Manchester United to win. Some of these people, I think, actually want Man United to lose the Europa League final so their narrative can be proven. Because at the end of the day, we're in the road to nowhere. Because if Man United go and win the Europa League next week, they're going to say, oh, well, it doesn't really pepper over the cracks, does it? It doesn't really paper over the cracks. I'm not having it. I'm not having the Europa League. That's it. You know, this is what they're going to do. This is how they are. This is how these fickle fans are, unfortunately, if you can call them fans, you know, this is how they are. I've looked around the Twitter sphere. I've looked around and I've seen the people who agree with me. I've seen the people who disagree with me. Look at the difference between those two people. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's like a caveman and it's like a successful businessman. A caveman and a successful businessman. That's what it is at the end of the day, because they're not looking at things subjectively, contextually. They're not looking at things like that. They're just looking at things, you know what? I play football and I kick the ball in the goal. I score 1 goal, you score 2 goals. That is how literally how they view football, guys. This is how they view football. Simplistic minds, simple minds, absolutely, like simple minds. You know what I mean? I'm alive and kicking, absolutely. Aaron, how far with the Cunha deal? At the moment, Aaron, what I would say to you, my bro, is that Man United are literally in advanced talks with Cunha. I'm not 100% because it's gone a little bit quiet around Cunha over this last 48 hours or since last week. It's gone a little bit quiet about Cunha. But don't be surprised if there is a little bit of news coming out before the Europa League final. Man United, you know what, are saving all their eggs in that basket because, you know, if Man United decide, for example, to get rid of, let's say this happens. Ruben Amorim leaves Man United. You know, they've got Cunha deal to talk about and to manipulate the fan base again. So Man United are going to drag that out. Believe me, they're going to drag that deal out. Even though the deal is advanced and the deal can be complete, Man United will drag that deal. But don't be surprised if Man United get some news about Cunha next week before the Europa League final to add a little bit of a buzz to the Europa League final. This is what I'm predicting at the moment. I'm not 100% sure, but this is what I'm hearing, that Man United will make an announcement next week and about something like that, of course. Absolutely. Now, guys, I'm rumors circulating around Manchester United, not least in the media outlets, that even if we win the Europa League, Ruben Amorim will leave the football club. It is said that Ruben Amorim has become disillusioned with the way the football club are going. And if he is not back in the summer, he will leave the football club despite what happens in the Europa League final on the 21st of May. Now, looking at Ruben Amorim over the last couple of weeks, over the last week in particular, he looks fed up. There were obviously pictures of him with his plaster on his hand, punching walls and stuff like that. And he has openly called out the players who he believes are not good enough. Now, Ruben Amorim could sacrifice a huge payoff to leave Manchester United. What would you make of that? For me, if Ruben Amorim leaves Manchester United on his own accord, I would hold my hands up and say, Ruben, you are a G, my friend. You are a G. You didn't wait for the money and you just left. And I would love it if Ruben Amorim came out and slagged off Ineos, slagged off the Glazers and left the football club. That would be beautiful, you know, because that would show a G for me. That would show a real manager for me at the end of the day. How embarrassing would it be if Ruben Amorim goes after the Europa League final, leaves at his own accord, says, I can't do this. Either I get backed or I leave. So that is the ultimatum that it should be said. I get backed, and I'm talking about backed 7-8 players, right? 7-8 players in, at least. I get backed or I leave. Now, there was obviously rumors circulating, of course. One is from the Daily Telegraph in regards to Ruben Amorim. Manchester United decided to sack Ruben Amorim if they suffer a defeat in the Europa League final is unlikely, but not unconceivable under Sir Jim Ratcliffe's ruthless regime. The Red Devils' part owner has already proven that he doesn't afraid to accept these mistakes and swing the axe early if he doesn't like the direction of travel. The direction of travel since sacking Erik ten Hag in November has been steep, but worryingly downwards. Rather than traditional bounce, a new head coach offers Amorim's saving grace is widespread acceptance that he needs a chance to offload the mediocre players he inherited and recruit higher quality replacements to suit the system. So Jim Ratcliffe openly accepted that the decision to retain the faith in Erik ten Hag, despite a record low 8th place Premier League last season, was a mistake. He seemingly learned that his lesson as a month after axing the Dutchman through the shock departure of sporting director Dan Ashworth. Having been in the job for just 5 months, the same time he spent in gardening leave, Newcastle United, Jim swallowed the inevitable and publicly to prevent a bigger issue downstream. I mean, at the end of the day, it was the chemistry, maybe a bit more chemistry, but let's just say chemistry didn't work, said the 72-year-old Jim Ratcliffe on the overlap. Basically, Ruben Amorim has also not ruled out the possibility that he may leave the club at his own will, even if Manchester United win the Europa League. There you go, guys. And there you go. And Ruben Amorim has put it, again, Ruben Amorim is putting it up to Ineos to back him this summer, leaving Ineos with an ultimatum to either back him, sack him, or he walks. There you go, guys. So that is very, very interesting, of course. Very interesting news. Big up, Chow. How you doing, my friend? The Border United needs to go before Amorim. Absolutely. They're the ones who need to be sacked. Good morning, Sal. What is the problem with Amorim said the truth and they said he is negative? Mate, you know what? I don't understand people. They mold things, Nutty. They mold things to suit their narrative. This is what this media do, right? He could say this, he could say that. They'll mold it to suit their narrative at the end of the day. I've seen a lot of quotes over the last 24 hours, you know, a lot of people talking a lot of trash. And there was one Twitter account. Let me see if I can find it. He put it in perspective really, really well. And I want to bring this in. Okay, so let me just bring this in 1 second. I'll see if I can find it first. It's a very, very good quote. It's a very, very good one. Let me see this. If I can find it. Yeah, it's way, way down. 1 second. Yeah, I can't find it at the moment, but yeah, I'll look for it in a minute. I can't really find it at the moment, but I'm gonna find it. But it's a really good tweet. Good morning, Sanjay. How you doing? I hope you're doing well. Rasta, come ownership out before the manager. As long as we do that, what we have to do in the final, I'm bringing it home. I'm here for the rebuild. Absolutely, bruv. Absolutely. Our fan base is full of unicorns who love to yap without understanding the context. That's what it is, mate. They understand football in a very simplistic way. It's very simplistic. I told you, I get ball, I kick ball. You know what I mean? It's a bit like a caveman when they're, you know what I mean? Like, I like that woman, I hit you on the head, I take woman home. Do you know what I mean? It's a bit like that. This is what they're like at the end of the day. It's such a simplistic, dumb opinion about football. I have to say it. I have to say it. Our fans have no patience for any manager, which means they won't get no success. So I don't think Amorim mind games that he exposes the truth about our club. Back him, please, Ineos. Absolutely, bruv. One thing about Ruben Amorim is that he speaks the gospel, he speaks the truth. This is what Ruben Amorim is good at, and that's what I like about him. Mine's with Alex Ferguson in the early days. Would you keep Højlund in the summer? We won't sign 2 players. Chow, you know what? This is a very difficult one for me because I don't think Rasmus Højlund is anywhere near good enough for Man United at this present moment in time. He is 22, going on 23 years old, and I do think Man United need better strikers. Ideally, and I'm going to bring this in a minute, Man United need 2 strikers. But will we get 2 strikers? As you said, Chow, is the $1 million question. Man United probably won't. Man United will probably get 1 striker, which leave us in a bit of a precarious position because obviously if 1 striker gets injured, then you know what, we're going to be lacking strikers again, ain't we? Roy Michael, good morning, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Good morning, sir, everyone. It's the same old thing. People wanting to sack the manager just to suit their needs. It doesn't make any sense. They're just brainless morons. Gone much too much time. Absolutely, man. Brainless morons. Spot on, my friend. That's what they are. Brainless morons. I don't know whether they're inbreds. I don't know what they are, but they haven't got something that is in their head. I don't know what it is. It's just something that there is like, it's like an echo. It's a bit like the Timbaland Nelly Furtado song. You know what I mean? The echo. There's nothing there. There's nothing there. Good morning, Ricardo Diaz. How you doing, my friend? How you doing, you legend? I hope you're doing well. Big up, guys. With or without Ruben Amorim, United needs a direction. You're going to have to be patient. Ruben Amorim has already identified the biggest problem. Actually, Ricardo Diaz, who knows about sport in Lisbon, by the way, and Ruben Amorim has told us about it's gonna, has told us endlessly. Well, Ruben Amorim's already told us, but there are many Sporting Lisbon fans who have told us that this is going to be a work in progress. When Ruben Amorim was at Sporting Lisbon, he removed 25 players, guys. We'll be lucky to remove 2. But this is where it is at the moment. He removed 25 players, for crying out loud. Natty, the problem is not standard. The problem is the standard at the top. Absolutely, Natty. Spot on. I agree. Sneakbo. If Amorim leaves, I'll go all out for Eddie Howe. He's a perfect for United. Who agree? Oh, goodness me. Sneakbo. Can I tell you something, Sneakbo? Much love. Thank you for joining me. What I would say is that there's an overriding theme here in regards to successful managers. What's the overriding theme? Saudi Arabia, Newcastle, Qatar, PSG. Rasta. People before our manager, Ruben Amorim's a much better manager than Eddie Howe. People before our manager got to the club, nobody, even Eddie Howe, can't fix this mess at Man United. Not even Luis Enrique, not Hansi Flick, not anyone. All right, until the culture has changed, which Ruben Amorim is trying to do. What Sal is saying now is that he said weeks ago he called him the smiling assassin, and he would walk. Those were you. Is that word, Sal? Thank you, Rasta. Thank you, mate. Thank you. I did, but you know what? I'm not here. You know what? I don't like taking the accolades and this and that because I wish I was wrong. But at the end of the day, look, you know what? One thing I said is at the beginning of Ruben Amorim's regime again is that, you know what? This is going to be bad, but we're going to have to hold it out and ride it out until the end. If we don't ride it out, we're going to be where we are this time next season, regardless of what manager we have. We're going to be here next season. We have to remain patient, and there is no substitute for patience. He is the smiling assassin. He will get rid of players, but at the same time, he will walk, and that is Ruben Amorim. Absolutely. If they say Amorim, they have to say Omar Barada with him. Absolutely incompetence. But Omar Barada. He's the hipster choice. Omar Barada, Man City. So far, he's you know what I mean? What can we say about him? At the end of the day, he's not doing good, is he? Sal, I have no doubt that Ruben Amorim leaves. He won't want the money. He's that sort of character, isn't he, Ricardo Diaz? And I'm hearing the same thing. He's a gentleman. I've spoken to a lot of journalists about Ruben Amorim, and he's not that sort of guy who will hold out for money. He would leave because he believes in himself and he believes in his own reputation. Like he said at the weekend, he called it embarrassing. And it is embarrassing for him. He did conduct another interview with Sky Sports yesterday. I'm going to be bringing you some quotes about that. Again, I think Ruben Amorim should stay away from these interviews because obviously what's been said has been said, and he should just concentrate on getting the team prepared for Chelsea on Friday and Tottenham next Wednesday. But what he did say, Ruben Amorim said to Sky Sports yesterday, first of all, I'm really embarrassed. In 25 games to win just 6, something is wrong in the way we play football. Sometimes it's not about the way we play, tactically or technically. It is the way we face competition, the way we suffer, the way we get mad because we are losing. These things we need to improve. Mentality, guys. Remember, mentality. It's not just inside the pitch. It's outside the pitch. That feeling I'm talking about, to fight until the end. The way we face competition is not okay to lose. It's not okay to draw. The feeling is not about confidence. It's about the belief and understanding that we are Manchester United. We don't want to be the worst in the league, and our position is unacceptable. For me, that is not about a lack of confidence. It is something more profound, guys. Sinister. I spoke with the board, with everybody, even the fans, in every moment. I have a clear feeling I know what this team needs to be much more better. That helps me to maintain that level, not to get so low or too high. He said, I want to talk about the players. I'm talking about myself and the culture in the football club and the culture in the team. This was yesterday, babe. Yesterday, guys. How long have I been saying culture? I have that feeling. We need to change that, and we need a really strong summer and to be brave, because we cannot have a season like this next year. If this feeling is still here, we should give the space to another person. So it is a big problem we have here at the football club. It's a decisive moment in the history of the football club. We need to address that. And that is very, very important, guys. Very, very important quotes. Fast, and all the best for your title race. Big up Sporting Lisbon. Absolutely. All the best for them. Got a good relationship with Sporting for a long, long time. If Amorim leaves and Southgate comes in, I will stop watching United games. I would be so pissed off. What I would do, Leeson, I can't stop supporting Man United. I can't stop watching Man United. I love Man United, you know, and at the end of the day, we will support them through thick and thin, and I'm sure you will do as well, Leeson. But what I would say is that I would hold Southgate accountable for every single decision, and I'll probably be Southgate out from the beginning. EC, good morning. Amorim's playing is smart, pushing players to move on for the cash and putting pressure on the board to spend it. Right, all part of the plan. Let's hope so, EC. Fingers crossed, my friend. Good to see you. Hope you're well. I think it was Martin Ball on Twitter. Martin Ball said something very, very funny about, about style of play and stuff like that. And it was very important and it gives me a representation of what people think in the fan base and how fickle they are and how contradictory they are. They contradict themselves and stuff like that, and it's ridiculous. Do you know what I mean? There's people saying, we should have sacked Ruben Amorim. Do you know what I mean? Sacked Erik ten Hag. Do you know what I mean? It's madness. Well, it is. Almac, there is no chance Amorim walks away for the 18 million. No manager walks away. You don't know Ruben Amorim, my friend. He's a different breed. Trust me. Ask Ricardo. Who knows? Is there any news on injured players? Nothing at the moment. There was the news yesterday about Yeleni Yoro, the injury not being as bad as first feared. What I'm hearing is that the injury is a couple of weeks. So given a lot of work, he could quite possibly be ready for the final. Hopefully he makes the final, because for goodness sake, Natty, I don't know what you think, but I don't want to see Lindelof and Maguire in that centre-back position. It would really equalise the game significantly, in my opinion. We do need Lenny Yoro. There is rumours that Delap could be fit. Delap might be back for the Chelsea game on Friday. So there is rumours about that. Obviously, we got a press conference coming up with Ruben Amorim on Thursday, I think. So obviously, we're going to hear a lot more about Lenny Yoro and Delap and that. And we have fingers crossed we get some good news. But next season, what I would do, I would really consider looking at that medical team for Man United. I really would, in my opinion. We can't sell it because they're still playing his transfer. We have to get 42 million, Leeson. If we get 42 million, we pay off the transfer, and it helps us with the FFP and PSR as well. Absolutely. Hats off to Ragnick and Amorim for exposing the harsh truth about the club. Absolutely. Proper managers, mate. Proper managers. Proper managers. Yeah, man, I totally disagree about Eddie House. No way. Good morning, Tyborg. You legend. How you doing, brother? I hope you're doing well. Good to see you, mate. Pal, if Ruben leaves, I'll follow him to his next team. Pal, I do not like Bruno's silence about transfers. There's a lot of things that are going to come, of course. Good morning, guys. Amorim must stay and survive these players. Absolutely, Tyborg. It's going to be a rough one, Tybal. It's going to be a toxic mess. In particular, if we don't win the Europa League, there is big rumours that if Ruben Amorim doesn't, even if Ruben Amorim wins the Europa League, he could possibly walk if he's not backed. That I admire. I admire if he did that. He walk away from money. That I would admire. Don't worry about money with Ruben Amorim. There's already rumours about him. If he leaves the football club, he'll find another job and he'll get a big pay packet from that job as well. So don't worry about that. But what I would say about Ruben Amorim, he's a real one, and he's like us, so to speak. It's a bit like us. He says things that we speak about, and other managers wouldn't speak about. Other managers will sugarcoat it and hide it under the carpet, of course. So there you go. Big up Tybal. If Amorim doesn't get to bring in 4 or 5 players, Man, you'll be no better off than starting next season. This squad is unable to do what he was. You know what I would say, Chocomoca, and I would say instead of Ineos pissballing about, as we say in England, instead of doing that, what they should be doing is concentrating on trying to get rid of Rashford, trying to get rid of Anthony, trying to get rid of Luke Shaw, and whoever else they want to get rid of, right? And try and bring in some players and start early. This Cunha deal should have been done. We should have had other deals done, but they're slow. Arsenal getting deals done. They're the here we go and Zubimendi, of course. Even Chelsea have got the Quenda deal over the line. They're going to get deals done. Why are we not getting deals done? Now, speaking of deals and speaking of transfers, Manchester United and Liam Delap. Liam Delap has made it open that he wants to go to Manchester United. Manchester United are in advanced talks to Liam Delap, and Manchester United could sign the player in the summer. Now, what do I make of this transfer? I don't mind a signing like Liam Delap. But if we get an Osman with him, if we get a Gutierrez with him, but we all know that we're not going to sign Liam Delap and Osman or Gutierrez. That we know that's not going to happen. I don't mind these project strikers if we're going to get someone else, because I believe we already have project strikers. I believe if Cheetah was playing for Ipswich for 40 games this season, he'll be scoring like Liam Delap. I believe if Musa was playing for Ipswich, he'll be scoring like Liam Delap. We've got our own youngsters. So what we need is a sprinkling of experience. That's what we need. We have none. To come in and say that we can sign Liam Delap and we can sign Tyler Dibbling and we can sign all these young players and expect us to win leagues or challenge for leagues or even come in the top 6 is naive. Kenny, I really wouldn't mind Amorim leaves. He doesn't deserve this fan base. Kenny, I agree with you, mate. I agree. I feel sorry for Ruben Amorim. I felt sorry for Eric Ten Hag. I know what this fan base does. They're rude, obnoxious, disrespectful, uneducated, everything you can say, ugly, whatever you want. Those type of fans, look at them. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, they're either bald and look like Skunk and Nancy riding a bicycle through Manchester, or they're fat and overweight and obese. No fat shaming, but that's what they are. Sitting there. They don't have a flipping look, guys. I've seen everything at Manchester United. I've seen every single trophy since the late 80s, right? I should be the one who's saying, oh, Amorim's not good enough, right? Because I've seen everything. I know standards, right? So why am I not? Why am I not saying, Amorim out, get him out? Why am I not doing that? Personally, I think even from the beginning, a lot of these people didn't want Ruben Amorim. A lot of them wanted Pochettino. They wanted all these other managers, because, what, they're jealous of Amorim or something like that. I don't know what it is, but, scandalous. Bozos, Muppets. Leaving. Is there any protests out? I have a clear feeling. Feelings don't win games. Football IQ does. He has an IQ, mate. That's why he was unbeaten in the Champions League. That's why he was at Sporting Lisbon and won the league. Mate, I have a feeling you don't have any football knowledge. But I also have a know that you don't have any football knowledge. Absolutely, United family. So quick comment on my chat with your dead Ruben Amorim opinion. You know what I mean? And, go and suck a pavement or something. Ruben Amorim walk this season. If things starts how it ends this season, I'm sure he will leave at the end of the club. Absolutely. I don't like people who don't know nothing about this football club. If you're going to support our football club in this community, make sure you know about the football club. Make sure you have an understanding about the football club. One more from you, Amorim, United family. You are blocked, mate, because you come up with such bollocks. Amram, we trust. Absolutely, absolutely. Only good news I heard that Euro left the stadium without absolutely very good news, of course. United family, maybe you should just keep the same energy towards Glinios. Absolutely. They don't, because they don't understand Man United, Kenny. They don't understand historically about Man United. They work on vibes. You know what I mean? Vibes. Oh, maybe his village is bullying him. I don't know. Maybe he's getting bullied by his village. Maybe that's happening. Maybe he's doing that. You know what I mean? Maybe he's getting bullied and he doesn't like it. You know what I mean? Our players have lost the spirit to fight. Ugarte giving the ball away and a mass two-threat. I mean, yeah, that was a bad game at the weekend. Lots of people. There was no intensity, no energy. And that is down to the players, Stanley. And this has been going on for years, hasn't it? This has been going for years. This is what we're saying at the end of the day, guys. He is giving solutions, you prat. You know what I mean? He's giving solutions. You know what I mean? You're not looking at the historic, what's going on at this football club. You're looking at your opinion and that's it. Goodbye. 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 Right. Guys, don't forget Ruben Amorim has a brother-in-law linked to the world of football, Antero Henrique. Research the man. It will be easier to replace, sell, and buy players than some help from Antero. I hope so, Ricardo Diaz. That would be absolutely brilliant. I would love that. Absolutely. Absolutely. This club is no longer as stand as you can. Why do people pity a manager taking a job interview? Nobody put a gun to his head. You don't know that, Goals for George. You don't know that. Maybe he's getting paid. Do you know that? You don't know that, Goals for George. So don't speculate. I've heard that he gets Ineos are forcing him to do these for money. That's what I heard. So if you want to talk about, why do that? He's taking too many interviews, mate. He's got a lot of work to do, mate. You know what I mean? That's what he's got to do. Stop trying to play devil's advocate because it's sounding dumb. Big up Daniel. Big up Matata. Even Matata. Big up Daniel Bryan. Matata's a good player. Guys, I want to talk briefly. Manchester United will win the season Europa League trophy. I hope so, mate. Big up everyone. I want to talk briefly about Gonzalo Ramos. Remember Gonzalo Ramos? Do you remember Gonzalo Ramos? Gonzalo Ramos is a striker that currently plays for PSG. Now, we all remember Ramos. I think when he was at Benfica, of course. Man United were heavily linked to Ramos, if we remember. But the problem with Ramos is the fact that he is very injury prone. Man United have inquired about the possibility of Ramos. He's still worth about 45 million. He is a centre forward, a Portuguese centre forward, and still highly talented. Can't get into the PSG side at the moment. So would you go after that type of player in Ramos? Would you do that? We were heavily linked to him. I remember it was a couple of years ago, wasn't it? We were heavily linked to Ramos. And you know what? I still believe he's a good player, but it hasn't worked out for him at PSG. So if it hasn't worked out for him at PSG, why would it work out for him at Manchester United? Maybe next season United would be better, inshallah, Amir, absolutely. So when he signed up, he didn't realize the clowns he had working with us. We all know the clowns are. And that is why I feel for him. Absolutely. EC. He will win in Europe. How they think signing an unexperienced striker with Sol Manchester? Yeah, exactly, Natty. We need at least one great striker, experienced striker. Ineos have to give Amorim players who fit the system and not the cheap players. Absolutely. The hype around Delap is disgusting. Delap should go to Everton or West Ham. You know what? I'm not going to say much about Delap because I don't know how he will fare at a big club. But what I will say, it's a big risk, Goals for George. It's a big risk. And we shouldn't be taking risks right now. And that's not Ruben Amorim, by the way. We trust Ruben. Take your time. Big up, big up. We hope he can get the time. Vibes Cartel. Absolutely. Walaikum salam, Vincent. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. The best option, building a new stadium or investing in the team. Investing in the team every single day of the week. Get the team going. Get the team playing. You know what I mean? Get success on the pitch. That's the most important thing. Then you can organically pay for a stadium. That's like Sir Alex Ferguson used to do when he used to build the North Stand or the East Stand. Do you know what I mean? Make money organically. Have success on the pitch. If there's anyone capable of changing the wrong culture at United, it's Amorim. Absolutely. If he leaves, that's the huge respect from me. There are some things more important than money. Absolutely, Tyborg. And he will become a cult hero at Man United if he left. If he left at his own accord, he'll be a cult hero. Matata is a good player. Big up, Daniel, by the way. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Give Amorim unlimited transfer budget. Absolutely. I wish we could. Vincent actually be investing in the team. Absolutely. I agree with Kenny. Natty, why they hide from main problems? It is very sad to see the club in this way. Because they sugarcoat with everything, and people have a target. They make, you know what? People like to target the person in front of the camera. They don't look at what's holding the foundations up or taking the foundations down. They just want to look who's on the camera, and they sacrifice themselves with their head first. I want Ruben Amorim out, and that's all they do, you know. And that is the problem with this fan base, and they don't change the narrative. Even if he won the Europa League next week, you know, they're not going to change the narrative. Now, there is a high possibility that Man United might lose to Chelsea. Man United might play a youth team against Chelsea. If Man United lose to Chelsea, we're going to have another week of the same crap. We're going to have another week of them going on and on and on. They're predictable. They're predictable. Like their life is predictable, boring, and, you know, duds. Ramos is a good forward. Absolutely. Ramos is a good forward. Injury prone, though, Ricardo. I had a few ankle injuries over the last year or so. Man United wanted him, didn't they? Hasn't quite worked out for him the way he would like at PSG. That's not to say that he isn't a good player. He is a good player. And you know what I would say is that I don't think he should be Man United's priority. For me, you know, I would prefer him to Liam Delap. You know what I mean? I would say that, but we'll have to wait and see. EC, when Klopp came to Liverpool, he had Michael Edward, who backed him and managed signings and changed the culture. We have to hope and pray Ineos do that. And that was the big move, wasn't it? That was the key, wasn't it? He was allowed to make the changes in the team. You know what I mean? Ruben Amorim was allowed to make 25 changes at Sporting Lisbon. Look what happened. You know what I mean? Won them the first league in years. Ramos gets 6 to 8 minutes in the PSG games. United needs to stop linking their names with flops who have struggled. PSG, this is what they do, mate. We have Ugarte when we could have gotten Neves. Ugarte's done well recently, goals for George, and I wouldn't criticize Ugarte too much because no matter who comes into this football club, goals for George, let me tell you, there is a cesspit. Why is there a cesspit? Because the place is a toxic mess, goals for George. We can get Neves, we can get Osman, we can get all these players coming into the football club. You know what? They might even learn from the other players and start down tooling. Even Amas, even Mainu. Look at Mainu. You know what I mean? Look at happened to Mainu. You know what I mean? Everything, you know, every single player that comes into this football club is a dud. Ugarte is a very good player. Ugarte had one of the most ball recoveries in Europe for PSG. So I don't know what we're talking about here. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, Neves is a good player. Ugarte is a good player. Manchester United is a toxic mess of a football club. So we can't just turn on Ugarte. You know what? At the end of the day, he's new at this football club. We're in the Europa League final, and let's support the players we have. Why do people think Jim Ratcliffe alone control footballing side? They forgot Glazers are control. Absolutely. But the problem is, Natty, is that Jim Ratcliffe is a puppet for the Glazers. This is exactly what it is. So the puppet for the Glazers is the one who has their fists up the backside and puppet. So that's even worse. Do you know what I mean? Because they're the spokespeople for the Glazers. And you know what? That is even worse. Antero Henrique, Ruben Amorim's brother-in-law, was a PSG's workers' sporting director. I hope he can help. Ricardo, I hope that is a very good point. I hope he can help. That would be very good, of course. Amir, trust Amorim giving his players and team will perform. Big up, Amir. Thank you for your positivity. We are pleased at Sir Jim Ratcliffe because he has enabled the Glazers to stay. He gave the Glazers a lifeline. Exactly. That's why we have to attack. He's a friend of our enemy. That is what it is. Why they scapegoat Ugarte now when he has been limitations when we bought him? I don't think he has limitations. He had the best ball recovery in Europe. I think Man United have limitations. I think Man United have a limitation of a mentality. And I think this can be toxic. This can be infectious like a virus. This is what Man United have. And this virus is a virus that has been there for 13 years. We've had great players at this football club. Ibrahimovic, Falcao. You know what I mean? We've had Schweinsteiger. We've had great players at this football club. And each one of those players have not succeeded at this football club. Do you know what I mean? Why is that? Because there is a virus in this football club. There is a cultural problem at this football club that won't be fixed until we start changing what we do. And at the end of the day, Ugarte is a great player. 23 years old, let's not forget, only. He's Rasmus' age. Rasmus' team as a youngster. And we fought all summer for Ugarte. We all knew Ugarte was a good player. It's Man United's the problem, not Ugarte. You know what I mean? Looking at PSG are a much more better run football club. They're much more better run football club than Man United. Much better. And that comes from the top. They got Qatar. We've got, greasy glazers. I agree with Kenny there. We do need a progressor. What has happened with Mainu, guys? What is the problem with Mainu? Now, Mainu played well last season. He was brilliant. Player of the season, play for England. Why is Mainu not performing for Man United now? Is it that contract negotiation, rumours? What is going on, guys? What do you think is the problem? And don't tell me tactics, because you know what? If you can't play in any tactic formation, you're not a good player. And Zidane could play in any tactic formation. Great players play in any formation. Ugarte is solid and a technical midfielder. We just need players around him, mate. Absolutely. Osman would score goals even in hell. I don't see Osman struggling at a club, even if United... I agree with you, Goals for George. We don't agree with everything, Goals for George, but I agree with you with that. Osman is a kind of player that Man United need. I know that some people don't like Osman, but he is the kind of player that Man United need up front. We can't just have Liam Delap and say, well, that's it. We got Liam Delap and that's it. Do you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Because he's not going to score goals for Man United. Who's going to pass in the ball? We need progressors with the ball. We need people who can make things happen. We need great players. Do you know what I mean? We have strikers at our football club who just stand in the box, and just wait for the ball to come to them. You know what I mean? They don't do nothing else. Rasmus, slowly but surely, is becoming a League One striker for me. What I used to see every week, at League One, because I used to work with Leyton Orient. And I'm seeing it a lot, strikers, great strikers, should make things happen for themselves. When the game ain't going well for yourself, make it happen for yourself. Get that ball, bury one in the top corner from 30 yards, that kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? When a door is slammed in your face, build your own door. That's what my advice would be to Rasmus Højlund and other strikers at Man United. Make it happen for yourself. Make it happen. Don't just stand in the box, wait for the ball, let it bounce off you and let someone else get it. Get that grit you're playing for Manchester United at the end of the day. Big up, Shah. You doing, my friend? I hope you're doing well. Morning, Sal. I'm now starting to believe that if we win the Europa League, we just get Delap. I don't know about that, Shah. If we win the Europa League, we'll have to wait and see. But I'm pretty sure that the fan base won't accept Liam Delap. He can develop very well at his age. He's too good to develop. If you talk about Liam Delap, I mean, who's he going to develop from? Who's he going to learn from? We got no one up front to learn from. We got a toxic mess that is, as I said, virus. We must have patience with the new players, so start hard to adapt to English football, and too much pressure. But absolutely, people don't understand the pressures at Man United. They think Man United are not pressure. We're the most pressurized football club in the world. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, 4 assists now in the Europa League. Absolutely, people forget that, don't they? Narratives. Sal, I generally think that some players hold back because others are giving 70%. I think that why they should give 100% or not. It's 100% mindset. Absolutely, EC. It's exactly what I said. Virus, culture. That is part of the bracket. If there was like a section for culture at Man United, there would be mentality, giving up, pressing, running, tackling, all these things. Man United don't have it. And as you said, this thing where giving 70% or giving up, like as Ruben Amorim said in that interview, giving up, in the Premier League, but not giving up in the Europa League. This kind of thing is contagious. This kind of thing can affect young players. It can affect new players, great players, anyone. Because at the end of the day, all it takes is one bad apple to affect the fruit bowl. And that is what I've been saying, and at the end of the day, if we got players who feel like 70%'s all right today, then we're never going to win anything. You know what I mean? And we're going to keep going around in circles. But I'm glad you say that. Amir, we really need Osman Gutierrez, Liam Delap, Edison. I mean, are you a billionaire, Amir? Can you help us out? Ugarte is always the scapegoat because he's not a hipster midfielder for a modern fan to be a Carrick, but we do need the ball aggressive midfielder, in my opinion. We do, yeah. What's happened to Mainu, guys? I want to know. I think if we sign Delap and only they can make Cunha strikers for some games. He's not a striker, though. We've got to stop putting square pegs in round holes. You know what I mean? I would say. Ugarte, we love you. Warrior, absolutely. Sal, I know it won't happen, but if we got Frimpong and Cunha, who'd be more transformative in their opinion? It's a big one, Shah. That's a bad. That's a good question. We need both of them. I'll be honest with you, Shah. We need both of them. I would say both of them because I don't think Man United are in any position to sacrifice one player over the other. They're both different players at the end of the day, you know. Delap is going to struggle to develop under us. Imagine him learning under Rashford. I mean, there you go, Kenny. It's going to be in no time. They're going to be infected. Do you know what I mean? And there we go. We're going to say, oh, he's a waste of money. He's going to be, give it 3-4 games, Kenny. Give it 3-4 games. We're going to say, I guarantee you this is going to happen, Kenny. And remember these words, please, everyone. We're better off with Rasmus Højlund. Remember this, guys. Remember this. Remember these words. We're better off with Rasmus Højlund. I bet we say that. If Liam Delap hasn't scored in a couple of games, there you go. Perhaps Mainu has lost his father figure relationship ever ago, molded him. Not all young players thrive and change a man. Then he has the wrong mentality, mate. Then he needs to fix his mentality. Then he's not going to be a great player then. Do you think that Roy Keane had a role model? Do you think Beckham did? Scholes? They didn't care, mate. They didn't care. They went out there, they won. That's all that matters. At the end of the day, no matter what formation you're playing in, great players thrive. Father figure, come on, man. This is so woke. Father figure, oh, God. Get the boy zone out. It's not time to make a change. Just relax and take it easy. You're still young. That's your fault. There's so much you have to know. Goodness me. Maybe he needs to look at himself in the mirror and take accountability. How about that? Ugarte has the MUC DNA. He does, I think. Kenny, we need better experienced players with that right mentality. I agree. Could it be possible that Mainu is probably mentally not there after the injury and is too scared? There could be another one, and that is a constructive opinion, EC. Now, what I would say is that there could be a number of reasons. Has he played too much football? Remember when he broke through the side last year? He played, every game, and then he went to the Euros with England, and had a good Euros. So that could be it. There we go. Some people are saying he's slow. That's not down to Ruben Amorim. Some people are calling him slow this season. That's what's going on. That's not down to Erik ten Hag. That's not down to Ruben Amorim. What's going on there? If we sign Amorim, what's where we will finish? If we sign who, mate? Delap wants United transfer. Yeah, I've said that. Ruben Amorim start signings now. Ruben Amorim's not going to start signings. It's going to be the board, of course. I'm starting to get concerned about Mainu on where he fits into the system. I mean, as I said, Shah, can I say something? I was raised in a time where players fit in any system. Great players fit in any system. There's no excuses. No excuses. What's the system? 2 midfielders playing in the number 8. It's the same thing. You know what I mean? Playing as a number 10, playing as a number 8. You know what I mean? It's the same thing. If we don't beat Spurs, the fan base in the club is going to be mortal. I'm just going to turn my Twitter off, my friend. Revert7, I'm just going to turn my Twitter off. It's going to be a cesspit. Cat Stevens, remade by Boyzone, Ricardo. Cat Stevens. Let me tell you about Cat Stevens, right? Cat Stevens is a Muslim, right? And Cat Stevens was on the beach. And he went for a swim on the beach. And the weather started to get really bad, right? And this is a true story, right? This is story hour with Sal. So the weather started to get really bad. So Cat Stevens got drifted out into sea. So he was drowning. So what happened is that, you know what? He screamed out, please, please, God, if you help me, I will work for you. If you help me, I will work for you. He got swept back into the shore. The next day, a guy knocked on his door who used to be a friend of his, who was a guy who was a drug addict and everything like that and stuff like that, handed him a Quran. Make of that what you will. And he became a Muslim. That is Cat Stevens, Yusuf Islam, Ricardo Diaz. I agree with Amorim. We are doomed. Absolutely. If we have these players, we are doomed. If we are not backed in the summer, if he's not backed in the summer, we are doomed. If they get rid of 10 players, we might be all right. I doubt that they do though. So it will get toxic, but us first fans will hold it down and stick to the backing. Absolutely. Pep destroyed football about passing between the lines. Yeah, he bored the thing. Yeah, I've just told the story about that Triple M. Big up. Triple M. Mainu is good in free midfield, I think. Maybe, yeah, I agree. Natty, maybe. Yusuf Islam, exactly. Big ups out. Personally, I think the fans need to grasp the fact that their favourite players might not be there next season. A massive overhaul needed. Have to support any overhaul needed and not moan. I agree with that, Steve. Even me, Steve, and you always come out with good comments. You know what? I agree with Steve there. Even if it's a player I like, I'm backing Ruben Amorim's choices, right? If Ruben Amorim wants the team that is going to take us forward, I'm at the point now where I don't care. I'll be honest with you guys. I'm at that point now where I don't care about it now. I don't care what player leaves. Mainu, Garnacho, whoever it is, that's it. You know what I mean? I don't care. Can Amorim turn it around? Will Europa League save United? Mainu needs to change his thing. Goals for George. Let me tell you something, right? I've heard stories about greed, right? And whether that's true or not, I'm not going to speculate because I don't know whether it's true. But what I would say, George, is that, you know what? These players want too much too soon before they've actually achieved anything. No one's saying that Mainu isn't a good player. But at the end of the day, whether you're playing a 3-4-3 or you're playing a 4-3-3, it shouldn't really matter because you're going to be playing a number 8 or you're going to be playing a number 10. It's going to be the same thing. He's slowed down this season. He's beefed up this season, you know. And apart from that game against Lyon, where he had a good game and he scored the goal, he hasn't really performed when he's come on. Now, what's the reason behind this? You know, and to be honest with you, we can't be carrying any more players, in my opinion. Mainu is a good attacking. I mean, we'll have to wait and see. The Europa League won't save United. He said it himself. We need more from the team. We agree. And this is the great thing about Ruben Amorim. And I like that about Ruben Amorim. You know, we know that it's not good enough. We know that. But winning the Europa League will be a start. It will help us in the summer. And he said that as well. You know, if we win the Europa League, we get Champions League football, and that will help us in the summer. He said that as well. So, yeah, we have to win it. Which team is good, the Ole team or this team? None of them, mate. None of them. Ole played a style of football that was, how would I say it? Not progressive, not long-term, quick results thing, but didn't help us long-term. And we're still feeling the effects to today. It suited the counter-attacking football, which won't get you trophies. And it didn't, did it? Absolutely. Big, boring possession football. Pep brought, yeah, absolutely. Boring. Pep killed entertaining football. It's very robotic now. People need to change it. Absolutely. They need to change it. I'm going into hibernation and leaving London if Spurs win. God blimey. Can you imagine revert 7? I don't even want to. I mean, it's not even worth thinking about it. It's not even worth thinking about it. It's not worth thinking about it. Shah, I won't be shocked if Ineos sack Amorim next season. They would bring in a manager that is just as a puppet to them and a manager that is on. I think he has more chance of walking than them sacking him. They won't pay the money. Ole was playing counter-attack football, but it led to no trophies. Absolutely. Bottom line, win trophies. What's the point of coming second when you don't win the Champions League? If you're going to come second and get knocked out of the Champions League, what's the point? I don't understand the point, the logic. What, we here for vibes or what? We're here for trophies. We're here for this. That's what we're here for. Absolutely. We're winning Europa League. Yes, Amir. I hope so. I hope we do win the Europa League. I really do. Natty, which manager you regret it not being sucked after Sir Ferguson? None of them, mate. None of them. I backed Eric Ten Hag to the hill and back, but I didn't think, I never rated Louis van Gaal. I never rated David Moyes. I thought they were not good enough for Man United, and I knew about Louis van Gaal in the 90s. I knew he wasn't good enough for Man United. And, I remember Louis van Gaal managing the Barcelona team in 98-99 when Man United won the treble. Man United played Barcelona twice in the group stage. He had players like Anderson, like Rivaldo, and, those type of players in his team. Enrique, and it's a very good team, but he failed with that team. So I always said back then, even with Louis van Gaal, that I don't like Louis van Gaal. He's not a good manager, and I always believed that, and I felt he's miserable, and I didn't like him. I say the same about David Moyes. Two decisions that I disagree with in Manchester United's history was David Moyes and the Glazers. Of course, two very, very important decisions at Manchester United. When Alex Ferguson left the football club, Manchester United needed a Mourinho back then. We needed to get Mourinho then, or we needed to get a Klopp or a Pep, right? We needed that caliber of a manager. What we didn't need was David Moyes. We did not need that. A team with Rio Ferdinand, Nemanja Vidic, Ryan Giggs, Robin van Persie, Michael Carrick, regardless how you feel about them in regards to age, they were still good enough to win trophies. Now, when you bring in a manager, a serial loser, by the way, like David Moyes, you know, what's going to happen? He's not going to gain the respect, is he? I agree, goals for George. I don't care anymore, goals for George. I really don't care anymore. I've had it up to here now. I don't care about players no more. I don't care about Garnacho. I don't care about anyone now. I don't care about Ahmad. I don't care about Ahmad because Ahmad, you know what, proved to me against West Ham that he's an impact player, just like Garnacho. He proved to me. I don't care anymore. I want players to show it from minute 1 to the end to 90 minutes. Do you know what I mean? Show me. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong in that final against Tottenham. Prove me wrong in that final against Tottenham. If any one of those players are watching, prove me wrong in that final against Tottenham. Show me that you mean business from the minute 1 to the end, not impact player. You know, and I don't care who's sold at Man United right now. I'm tired of it. I don't even care if 10 players leave. I don't care anymore. I'm done with it. I'm done with the players. They're the players who had the worst Man United team in history. It's them. I don't care if it's Bruno. I don't care. Bruno goes missing, does the missing persons act. That's why he'll never be a Manchester United great. He'll be a good Man United player. Man United legend. He'll be a Man United great, maybe, but not Man United legend. Ole got knocked out of the Europa Champions League group stage. Quality players in the squad. No one actually spoke about that. I mean, I think what people are doing, Kenny, is that they are thinking about him as a player and they let the emotions override them. This is why we are a weak fan base. Big up, Kenny. Big up, everyone. Big up, Steve, of course. Ever since Mourinho got sacked, I never had any sympathy with viruses. Me neither. Can I tell you a story? I went to Man United against Crystal Palace a few years ago. It was 0-0 at Old Trafford. Jose Mourinho was manager. I was sitting next to the bench. I actually sat literally meters away from Juan Mata. There was a virus back then at Man United. There was a miss for Man United. I think it was from Lukaku or something like that. There was a miss. And Jose Mourinho turned around to the bench and said, "You see what I mean?" He said that to the bench. "You see what I mean?" About his own player. That is how bad Man United got. And I was sitting there and I heard it. You know what I mean? I was right next to Jose Mourinho. I heard it. Big up, big up. Mourinho shouldn't have been sacked, in my opinion. What I would say, Kenny, is that when he came second, that was the time to back him. That was the time. When he came second, right, that was the time. Or when he won the Europa League and League Cup, I went to that League Cup final, brilliant against Southampton. When he won the League Cup and Carabao Cup, that is when we should have went all out. What do you want, Jose? What do you want? How can we improve this team? That's what we should have done, even though we did spend a lot of money. But anyway, I saw an interview with Giggs. He said that Van Gaal arrived at United. He asked him which players should leave. This is what I mean, Ricardo. Shouldn't Ruben Van Gaal already have done his research? Shouldn't he have been watching Manchester United? What's he doing? Sitting on the toilet? What's he doing at the end of the day? He should be watching Man United. You know what I mean? That's why he was never the right man for me. Who would I build a team around? Well, last season, Dropski, what's going on, my friend? Last season, I said Mainu. I like Mainu. And I'll tell you right now, I like Mainu. Looking at it this season, I think Man United need to rebuild. And anyone could be that main guy. It's up to them. You know, At the moment, I don't see anyone who has the mental capacity, talent, will to win, to be a leader. Last season, I thought it was Mainu. You know, I would say that Man United need to bring in some serious talent, man. They need to bring in some serious talent and you know what, build around someone else, you know, and that talent obviously will be an inspiration to the younger players. Hopefully Kobbie Mainoo and that, because I still believe in Kobbie Mainoo. Hoping we get a good striker like fits Zlatan and charisma and football brain. In 2 seasons, he did a hell of a lot. Zlatan right now, Steve, would do better than Rasmus. I would say that right now, even at his age. The summer of rebuilds for Madrid and Manchester United, yeah. I mean, Madrid ain't got much. I mean, they got Bellingham and they got flipping Vinicius Jr. and they got Mbappe. I mean, I wish I had their rebuild. Jose would have won the title in 2013. We went back 5 years with the moves from appointment. Moyes, we went back. Moyes destroyed everything. He removed all the backroom staff. You know what I mean? He came into that, tried to change the philosophy of Man United. And there you go. George, did you see the video of Spurs players dancing after they beat Bodo and qualifying for the final? If they win the final, they will build a statue and open parades in London. Oh, my goodness me. Goals for George. You know how to make me feel better, don't you? Big up, Amir. We're not going to do an open bus parade, though, because we got standards. If they do not put their best performance, they do not deserve anything. Absolutely. Aaron can do it, we trust. Big up, big up. Amir, what are you taking, mate? What are you sniffing, mate? What's going on? I think this Mourinho got sacked player power became more empowered and more evident. Ole got a massive bounce when he... didn't Jose Mourinho said it, that 3 or 4 of those players are still at the football club when he was there? And didn't he say that? Didn't he say that, you know what, these players need to leave, you know? Don't you think it's really remarkable? Don't you think it's remarkable, guys, that Martial has only missed 7 games for AEK this season? Athens, this season. 7 games. What's going on there, lads? What's going on there? Play when you like. Play when you like. Is it a magic sponge? Did they wipe that magic sponge on Martial's leg? My God. Mad, isn't it? I wanted Carlo Ancelotti after Stretford. It would have been great. At the time, we needed that sort of manager. I agree, Shah. I can't disagree with that. I agree. It's exactly what we need. I would like, you know what it is? You know what it is? It's called the butterfly effect. What would have happened if we got Ancelotti? What would have happened if we got Jose at that time? What would have happened if we got Pep or Klopp? Who knows? It would have been better. Amir is over positive. I wish I had these positive. I don't know what he's taking, mate. I really don't. Play when you like, FC. Absolutely. This is the problem. This is the problem. Play when you like, FC. You know what I mean? This is the problem at the football club. Just reading the tweets, guys. 1 second. Yeah, but it is what it is. But you know what? What I would say to everyone, and I know it's difficult for some people because some people live under a rock and they love their own opinion. What I would say is that I would say back your team until next week and get behind the boys until next week and see if we can win that Europa League and get into the Champions League. Then we can remove all the mess, you know what I mean? But winning that is a foundation that we can go forward. And no, this season has not been good enough. We know that. But winning that Europa League can give us a spark. Can give us a foundation to go on and start winning matches, football matches, and get the confidence. Even if we win the Europa League, I'll be still looking to remove majority of those players. And we're talking about 75, 80% of those players need to go from this football club. Even if we win the Europa League, I'm talking about that because the league form was unacceptable. And, this needs to improve next season. And I don't think we can... I don't think we can really, what will I say, do this again next season because, you know, we need to win and we need to move up that league and we need to get back. And I think we will be back next season. Absolutely. Football heritage, Mourinho football heritage. Absolutely. On our day, we can beat anybody, FC. Absolutely, Shah. That is the bad thing though, isn't it? Many Manchester United players are merchants. Absolutely, big up. Everybody going to lead the club. Absolutely, there you go. Delap do agreed from Ben Jacobs. Ben Jacobs has been on the show, by the way, Robert, and said, "Wouldn't you wish that to happen, or just get lost back into your barn, you idiot?" Robert, if a question mark, and it has reported by Ben Jacobs, and that's good. Ben Jacobs has been on the show, Shah. You've been here twice, and he'll be back on the show, and I will have bigger things to do as well. These people are just haters, mate. They don't listen. They don't read properly. They just come on here and hate because they got nothing going on in their lives. Do you know what I mean? And that's what's going on with this Robert Ensar. He comes in here all the time. Was I wrong about Dorgu? I mentioned him in the summer. Was I wrong about that, Ensar? Was I wrong about Dorgu? Was I wrong about Ugarte? Was I wrong about Delict, Imagery? Nah, mate. You need to go back into your little barn and shut up. Absolutely, guys. Thank you so much, guys. Look, you know what? I'm tired of nonsense people. Honest to God, I'm getting rid of these people. Nonsense people at the end of the day. And to be honest with you, I'm tired of this nonsense people coming on this stream. You know what I mean? These people just want to like get angry and bitter because they got nothing else going on. Big up Ben Jacobs. Ben Jacobs is absolutely smashing it at the moment, by the way. He's getting all that news. He's absolutely smashing it. And to be honest with you, you know, I have big respect for Ben Jacobs. I mean, he's been on the show twice. Hopefully, we're going to get the big Fab on the show very soon, guys. I'm in contact. So hopefully that will happen very soon. And we'll be talking in the summer about transfers and what's going on, what's going to happen. Now, let me tell you something about transfers. Manchester United will have a wish list, right, of players. I said there'd be two wish lists. One if we don't qualify for Europe, one if we do qualify for Europe. That's not to say that Manchester United are going to sign every single player from that wish list. Manchester United will have a wish list. If they want that player, they don't get that player, they go after the next player and the next player, and so on. If we qualify for the Champions League, it'll be that list. If we don't qualify for the Champions League, it'll be that list. That is how it happens, you know, and that is how it works. Man United, every player that Man United link with we're not gonna sign. Not every player. But when we talk about the likes of Ben Jacobs and other respected outlets, you know, are talking about Liam Delap, you know what I mean? That is when, you know what, you know, it has legs. It has legs. It has wheels. A bit like Bruno. Bruno has not debunked the Al Hilal stories. Bruno has not come out in the media, and Bruno loves to talk, we know that, and debunked, denied the Al Hilal stories. He hasn't come out with that, has he? Do you know what I mean? Big up Revert 7. Football can change fast. Look at Barca that last year. They were the turn. Absolutely, they can. I mean, they run well as a football club. Dropsy. Barcelona are run brilliantly as a football club. We're not. Big up for the good work, Sal. Big up, Natty. Thank you so much for joining me, you legend. Really appreciate you, mate. Yeah, really do. You know what? What I would say is that, as I said before, you know what I mean? Just keep supporting your football team and let's see what happens at the end of the season. At the end of the season, we can have opinions, we can argue, we can talk about what's going to be, what's not going to be. At the moment, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to support the team until after the Europa League final. Then I'm going to analyze everything and see what's going on. But one thing I won't do is that I won't be calling for the manager's head. Absolutely not. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, that is the way it is. Guys, Leeson, if Manu don't change his ways, I can see him going the same way. I agree, Leeson. I agree. I'm not backing anyone now. I'm done with it, Leeson. These players put this manager in a position. These players put the manager in a position where he has to punch the bloody wall and have a cut in his hand. These are the players who've done that. I'm not backing these players anymore. I'm tired of it. I'm done with it. And these player FC morons can do what they like because at the end of the day, they don't know nothing. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. But guys, in regards to Liam Delap, again, Liam Delap has said that he would like to move to Manchester United according to his agents, and the deal has been agreed in principle in regards to a gentleman's agreement between Liam Delap and Manchester United. That deal could quite possibly be sewn up very soon, I think. I think Man United have made it very clear that, you know, they want Liam Delap. Whatever you guys think about that, it is what it is. I don't want him as our main striker, but you know what? We might have no choice. Shah, play FC can F off. Absolutely, Shah. Big up. Absolutely. Where it goes, there will be absolutely 3 years. Guys, Guys, you know what? All the haters, you know what they can do? You know what they can do?
Fuck off.
Absolutely. Absolutely that. That's what they could do. Guys, I'm Sal Warner. This is Breaking Dawn. I will be back later for Chatterbox. I might go on a earlier time today, guys, for Chatterbox. So make sure you join me for Chatterbox, please, guys. Very important you join me, please. And guys, have a great day and a great night, evening, no matter where you are. Thank you for joining me. And don't forget to smash a like, please. And guys, much love for your support. Always. Take it easy. Peace.